193 Regent Street, Redfern, the storefront home of the Aboriginal Medical Service for the last 2 years. A two-storey surgery that can't cope any longer with the 50 or so Aboriginal patients a day that queue in the waiting room to see the 3 full-time doctors on staff. And just round the corner, 82 Botany Street, which the service wants the Department of Aboriginal Affairs to buy for them for an estimated cost of $200,000. They say it would last them for the next 10 years and allow them to open a dental and nutritional service as well. And if they can't get it, then according to organiser Gary Foley, the service won't have anywhere to go.
Well, the lease on this place ran out 7 months ago. We were supposed to be out 7 months ago. It's only through the generosity of the people who own this building that we're still here. But nevertheless, this building is still hopelessly overcrowded.
Well, does this mean that finishing this entire service, the end of it, is in sight? I mean, could you ever let that happen?
It's out of our hands, you know. We have to move. If the Department of Aboriginal Affairs isn't prepared to allow us to move into the building that we want, then there's no alternative whatsoever for us than to close down. And that could happen after tonight's directors' meeting. The directors are going to determine what should be done about the situation now.
In consultation with the department?
Well, we were supposed to have met with departmental officials last Friday, but on the day before that meeting, the Minister, Mr Johnson, sent us a telegram stating quite clearly that there was no chance in the world of us getting the premises that we wanted. Mr Johnson said that it was because of the cutting in government expenditure at the moment, it was impossible for him to see how his department could buy that building for us. In other words, we're the victims of this great cutting in government expenditure that's happening now.
So you can see Johnson's point of view with calls from all sides for a responsible budget.
I can see Johnson's political point of view, or the Labor government's political point of view for that matter. Aborigines have got no voting power, no electoral power whatsoever in this country, no economic power, so they're the people who can be cut without too much electoral damage.
I'm wondering how Medibank would affect you. Is this possibly a bargaining card up Mr Johnson's sleeve?
The only way in which we can see Medibank affecting us at the moment is that the Department of Aboriginal Affairs has indicated that maybe because Medibank is now in operation, will be shifted from the jurisdiction of the Department of Aboriginal Affairs to the Department of Social Security, which to our way of thinking would be a very great change, pleasant change.
Since the Aboriginal Medical Service started in July 1971, it's treated more than half of Sydney's 20,000 urban Aboriginals. And in the first 6 months of this year, the 3 full-time doctors have dealt with over 10,000 patients. If the service is forced to close, Gary Foley says it won't just be the city blacks who suffer.
Well, it's not just the urban Aboriginal community that's affected. This organisation services the entire New South Wales area, plus we also bring people in from the Northern Territory. So all of these people, that means around about 30,000 New South Wales Aborigines, plus certain Aborigines in the Northern Territory are going to be without an Aboriginal medical service.
Gary, some sort of compromise must be reached. What do you think it's likely to be?
It's reached a stage where it's no longer possible to talk in terms of compromise. We either get that building or we're forced to close down. It's as simple as that. And the department can't come up with any excuses whatsoever, because they've known that we've been trying to get buildings for 3 years. They've literally stopped us from getting buildings in the past, and they're going to try it again. So it's now the time where we're forced to say that we're going to have to close down.
Obviously, negotiations between the service and the department are at a delicate stage, and the new minister, Mr Johnson, is hardly likely to overlook the medical demands of a vocal ethnic minority, to say nothing of their capacity for embarrassing publicity. Already the department has suggested the service move into a floor of this unfinished office block in Redfern at a probable rental of $70,000 a year. Whether they're still prepared to come at a straight-out purchase, which Mr Foley and his colleagues think would be a better use of taxpayers' money, is something that a budget-conscious Canberra is probably still mulling over.